Hello everyone, this is The Voice. And today I'm going to talk about how to treat people in the service industry or retail or just employees in general, anywhere you're going to go for services. So this comes up after watching quite a bit of videos where people talk about their experiences working in retail. Even my friends, I've worked in retail. My parents have worked in retail. Everybody in my family has worked in retail. And it all boils down to people just don't treat others the way they need to be treated in terms of working in service industry. First off, don't be rude to us. More than likely, if you're rude, we're going to give you worse service. We're not going to get your order right, just strictly to make you mad. We're going to go slower. The only time I haven't gone slower when somebody was being rude to me is one night while I was working. It was like 11 o'clock. I wanted to leave. This lady she brought up her buggy, no one else in the store, just her. And we had been instructed, do not unload or scan anybody's stuff if they're not present. And she had pushed her cart up and walked off. So I just stood there. Granted, it is just me on the front end. My bookkeeper is in the bookkeeping office, which my bookkeeper was the supervisor for the night. And so the lady came back and got very irate with me, started screaming at me. Granted, at the time, I was the fastest cashier. Scanned stuff extremely fast, bagged it extremely fast. And before she'd even gotten halfway through her sentences, or her second or third sentence, not really sentences, I was done scanning all of her stuff. I was in the process of bagging it. She would not stop screaming at me. And my supervisor came out of the supervisor office, or out of the bookkeeping office, and hearing her yelling at me, and asked what the trouble was. And I was like, I've got it so-and-so, I've got it handled. Her order's just about done. I just need her to pay. And so the lady just keeps yelling at me. And I'm like, ma'am, I just need you to pay and we're done. You can go home. I can go home. We're closing the store as soon as you leave. And she started getting verbal with my supervisor, which my supervisor was a very nice lady. She did not in any way deserve the way this lady was treating her. She had done nothing wrong. She hadn't even been involved in this situation at all. And I very politely asked the lady to leave. She'd already paid. I had everything in her basket or cart, depending on where you're from or how you were brought up, to speak. Anyway. And she just wouldn't stop yelling. So finally, I grabbed her cart and pushed it out the door. She followed me and would not stop yelling. And I closed the doors and locked them. You gonna be rude to me? I am probably gonna be rude to you. I'm not a rude person. I don't like being rude. But that brings me to my next point of treat us how you want to be treated. If you want to be treated well, you want us to be nice to you, be nice to us. It's just a job, a minimum wage job at that, half the time. High schoolers just trying to make some money so they can go out on the weekends or pay their cars or just some gas money. It's normally not people who are paid enough to deal with it. Okay? I mean, if you're going to walk into a store and start yelling at somebody and they look like they're in high school, they're probably in high school and they probably don't give two flips about the job they're working. Okay? So, being rude's not helping you at all. And more than likely, they're going to be rude back to you because they're teenagers. They don't care. Okay? At least that's my experience with grocery and retail in general. And then you have people working in restaurants. Like my brother. My brother has done very well in restaurants, has a terrible attitude a lot of the times with dealing with people who are very rude. Honestly, I don't know how he's done it. But to you, my brother, I'm sorry for bringing you up in this. And if you do watch this, I do love you, brother. But honestly, in the grocery store, they don't care about their job. They're doing it to get a paycheck. And you being rude to them, they're not going to want to help you. Then you have people like me who are going to be very nice to you and you're going to help you out and do what they know is expected of them because it's the right thing to do. But then again, you start treating us rude and being extremely mean to us, yelling at us, and some of the things I've watched in the last few days, touching us. That's the thing. We are human beings. We're not machines. And touching us is a big no-no. If I was walking down the street and you touched me in a way that was aggressive, you will probably get knocked to the ground. And I'm sure a lot of other people in the service industry would agree with that. You don't touch us. Yes, we're working. That does not make us any less of a person. I mean, if we walked into your job and we were extremely rude to you, would you be okay with that? No matter what your job was. If you're working in a factory, you're running a machine, and I just walk in there first day, and I just start acting extremely rude to you, would you be okay with that? I seriously doubt it. Another thing. So when you ask the manager to do something for you, generally they're not going to know what to do. They're there to manage people. They have people who have learned to do their jobs to a certain degree, and they rely on those people to do their job. They don't know every single job in the place, just like not everybody in the building knows how to do everything. If you came to me as a bagger and asked me to cut you a bunch of steak, I'm not going to be able to do that. I've worked in the meat department, but that's beside the point. I've never cut any meat. I've never been a butcher. We're people. Treat us like people. Treat us how you would want to be treated. And just don't be rude. The amount of good in the world comes from the amount of good you put out in the world. If all you want to be is mean and hateful, you're not helping. You're hurting. And, if that's the way you want to treat people, that's how you're going to get treated. I worked retail for 7 years. My family longer than me. My dad was a manager of a large furniture company for, like 15 years. And before that, he worked in warehouses. I ran a business with my parents, selling furniture. I handled the deliveries. There were a lot of times we walked into a lot of buildings where people were very rude to us. Guess what? They had to figure out how to put their beds together. Because either we would gently suggest that they needed to pay us to put their beds together, or it just wouldn't get done by us. Because we're not being paid to deal with rude people. It's part of the job, and most everybody who works retail understands that. but we're not getting paid to deal with it. Which actually kind of brings me to another point. If you're being rude, we actually have the right to refuse you service. As a business, the business has a right to refuse you service, and as an employee of that business, we have the right to refuse you service. If we are in the middle of an order and you start bad-mouthing us, start yelling at us, and honestly, it's happened. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've had it happen to me. We have the right to refuse you service, and we will not serve you. We will tell you to leave, especially if it gets bad enough. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Please like and share this video. Comment. I would love to see comments. Experiences. If y'all have had experiences like this, please put them in there. I would love to see them. Maybe I'll even do a video about your comments, and I'll name you off in the video, helping share. And but I would love to see some more interaction between me and my viewers. Anyway, this is The Voice, and thank y'all for watching. Bye-bye.